Fun. How's it all going today? We're talking about how to make weight loss fun. Oh, gasp. Can you imagine weight loss being fun? Is it possible? Can you do it? I think so. I think you can do it. You can make weight loss fun. You can make anything fun. No, maybe not anything, but certainly weight loss you can make fun. It all comes down to how you're thinking about it. And so that's going to require you to first take a step back from how you normally think about it, right? I mean, it's all a mindset game ultimately anyways, but very rarely are you probably asking the question, how can I make my weight loss fun and enjoyable? Right. So it all starts with the question. It all starts with the intention. And I know you don't have any solutions right now about how to make weight loss fun. I understand that. Understands like I'm talking, you know, completely from another dimension to talk about weight loss being fun. But a lot of the reasons why you think weight loss is so hard is because of the way that you think about it, right? And a lot of the way you think about losing weight is because of how diets have programmed you to think about it, right? You've seen literally millions of weight loss ads in your life, and they have um, conditioned you, programmed you, hypnotized you, brainwashed you, whatever words you want to use to think that weight loss has to be really hard. On top of that, we also have millions of food ads, right? That make us think that food is the most fun and enjoyable thing on the planet, you know? And so, again, in order to answer this question, how we can make weight loss fun, it's all a mindset thing. You can't stay in the same mindset and make it fun. Not going to happen. Okay. What you have to do is you have to take a step back from how you typically think about weight loss and look at it from a different angle. How can we make it fun? And of course, that's about thinking of it differently. So how do we think about it differently? Easy to say, think about it differently, but what do I mean specifically? Well, I mean what you're focusing on. Well, how are because everything is good and bad, right? Everything. And so weight loss is good and bad. It's good because you want to lose weight. It's bad because it's hard to do, right? Hard to change your behaviors, hard to give up the food you love eating, all of that, right? But it's both things simultaneously. So which one you experience as primarily is dependent on where you're training your focus to be. And what's happened is that our focus has been trained to focus solely on the food, on the consumption of food. So that now when people think about losing weight, what they're really thinking about in their mind, if you really get to the nuts and bolts of it, is they're thinking about, now I'm not going to be able to eat the foods I like. And that's primarily what their focus is on, right? So when they're not dieting, their focus is on eating the food and enjoying it. And then when they're going to diet, their focus becomes trained on, I can't eat the foods I enjoy eating now. That's a tough situation, right? And if that's where your focus is going to be, you're going to have a hard time, right? No doubt about it. So where you have to put your focus on instead is you have to keep your focus on the result you're going to get, the ultimate result you truly want. You need to compare the pleasure and the joy you get out of the food versus the pleasure and joy you would get out of living at your goal weight, being as healthy as you can be, feeling really good about yourself inside and out. You see? And so this is where it comes down to that mindset piece, is it's how you're thinking about this. And specifically, when we talk about how you're thinking about it, it's what you stay focused on. And so the first step of this process is really dehypnotize yourself, step back from the programming, the brainwashing, the conditioning that the food companies and the diets have put on you, right? So that you're only thinking about food, and you let go of that for a minute and you say, wait a second, there's other things at play here. And those other things are the quality of life that I could achieve, the true intrinsic, genuine joys I could experience in my life if I'm able to stay focused on these things and transform the way I think, the way I live, and the way I eat. I could live as a completely different person. I could feel incredible. I could feel amazing. And the more you start focusing on that and thinking about it that way, guess what? It starts to become more fun, right? Because you need to think about how much better your life could be. Not just because you're thin, how much better your life could be because you're at a weight you want to be at, and because you're doing it in a way that's comfortable and it's allowing you to become the person who you truly want to be, right? So it becomes more than just a number on a scale. It becomes, who am I going to live as? What am I going to be? Someone says the pleasure of imagining yourself thin may be so far away that it feels unobtainable. I understand that. And so let me speak right to that now. And that's the big challenge for people. That's the big challenge with weight loss, is it's a time, your biggest challenge with weight loss is a time concept. Okay. So for example, if I told you, and I just made a video on this, right? But if I said you could have the most delicious meal you've ever had in your life, or you could wake up tomorrow at your goal weight, which one would you choose? Right? Well, most people say, I'll take the weight. Thank you very much. But then it comes, oh, well, yeah, I can't have it in one day. I got to say no to lots of meals. That's not the same thing. I get it. The point of that, though, is to realize that if there was no time, right? So we could just take time and put it off to the side for a second. The pleasure of being at your goal weight for most people is typically a lot higher than the pleasure they would get out of food, right? Simply because it's longer lasting. There's just more genuine pleasure to it, right? For some people, they want to look look a certain way. Some people, if they were at their goal weight, they'd be a lot healthier. They don't have to worry about diabetes or other health issues. For some people, they would just feel, oh, my knees feel better. I have more energy. I feel better about myself, And for some people, it's a combination of all those, right? And so if we can take the time and put it aside for a second, the truth remains. And I always say this, you've got the truth on your side here. The truth remains that living at your goal weight, being the person you want to be, is much more pleasurable. Okay. So we have to deal with this time issue, right? And to some degree, so listen, there is a literal part of your brain that you have a cognitive bias. I always suggest you should learn these cognitive biases. Look them up. There's a million of them, not a million, but there's a lot of cognitive biases we have. But there's some really key ones that are impacting your weight. Now, you can't get rid of cognitive biases. There's no way to get rid of them, but you can recognize them and strategize to work around them. And so one of the big cognitive biases we all have as humans is that we have a thing called future discounting, which just means that we discount the future as opposed to now, right? And so if I said, I'll give you $100 now or $200 in 2 years, most people will take the $100 now. Thank you very much. Because you don't know what's going to happen in 2 years. And so you're working against that with the weight loss, right? Because your brain says, there's a cookie in front of us and it says, well, I don't want to eat that. I want to lose some weight. Excuse me. I don't want to eat that cookie now, because I want to lose some weight in the future. And your brain says, well, we don't even know if we're going to lose weight in the future. Why don't we just eat the cookie now and we'll start tomorrow? Same thing, right? And so we have to address this time factor. And what you have to do is ask things like, which would I take, the meal or the food? Because ultimately, it's that choice in front of us every single day. And if we can get ourselves into a mindset of, I really want to feel the body. So it's not just choosing a weight. The weight's not enough. The weight's superficial. No number on a scale, not enough meaning. Okay. It needs to become more than that. It needs to become, I always say, you got to take your weight loss from rapid and personal development. You need to give this process more meaning. And so it becomes, will I choose the temporary pleasure of the food, or will I take the long-term success, of living as my ideal self, living in my ideal body, looking the way I want to look, feeling the way I want to feel? And it's that question day after day. It never ends. However, the body, in my opinion, is the more pleasurable one. And the sweet spot is that you can get to a point, and I think you could start with this way, where you can have both of them anyways. How about that? And that's where I think that's where our jumping off point for making weight loss fun is, how do you structure it in a way that you can get the body you want and be able to eat the food you like? How do you do that? You can do it. Now, what you need to add into the process is some patience. You can't do that strategy and lose weight quickly. Okay. But if you can get used to the idea that I'm okay for it taking a year to lose the weight, because why not? What's the friggin' rush? I get nuts with the rush. I get it. I don't blame you, because, again, talk about diet and conditioning. Every single diet ad you've seen is about how fast you can lose the weight. So it's impossible. At this point, you literally are hypnotized, brainwashed to, when you think about weight loss, it's a diet mindset, right? You can't separate weight loss from dieting at this point. The diets have done their job. It's been a lifetime of it for us. You know what I mean? Like, I was born in 1974. If you were born in, 65 after, we've had an entire lifetime of dieting bullshit into our heads. So we can't even think clearly anymore with this. And there's a bunch of problems with thinking in terms of weight loss as a diet. But one of the big ones is that we're so impatient with it. And that causes us to choose unsustainable strategies and to think about just short-term fixes. And we never commit to a long-term successful strategy. We're always just chasing shortcuts. You know, I was saying to someone, like, just to put in perspective, I just thought of this yesterday, but it's like, if you wanted to become a bodybuilder, let's just say, you know what, I want to become a bodybuilder. That right there, it's funny because you can see like the dieting mindset is such bullshit. And it's like, it's been implanted into your brain, but it's not a real thing because you approach almost nothing like you do dieting, right? There's nothing that you would take on that's such a big project that you would expect such fast results. You know, it's like you're counting you know what I mean? You're measuring, you're thinking in terms of your weight loss, in terms of days and weeks, maybe months, you know? And it's like, if you want to learn a musical instrument or learn a language or learn some sort of new skill, if you want to become a bodybuilder, they all have longer time frames intrinsically embedded into them. But when it comes to weight loss, you can't think outside of a couple days, a couple weeks, you know? And so I'm telling you, this is the first thing you got to separate yourself from this, because it's keeping you stuck more than anything else, you know? Because as soon as you take a step back and say, oh, let me strategize my weight loss for the year. Holy shit. You can't even think in a year. You never think in terms of a year with your weight. Never. Right. And because you think such short term, you need extreme things so you get rapid results. But as soon as you let that go and you start thinking, how can I lose 40 pounds over the next year in a comfortable and easy way? Well, hey, now it just became a lot easier. It just became a lot easier to lose 40 pounds over the next year than it is, how can I lose 10 pounds over the next couple of weeks? Huge difference. You know, people overestimate how much weight they can lose in a month and underestimate how much weight they can lose in a year. And you're stuck in this, you know? No, sounds like you're gonna laugh because it's losing 78 pounds. I was walking in dress shoes today and my shoes fell off. So even your shoes got thinner, right? That's funny. So that's the secret to making it easier. That's the first step to making it easier is, yeah. And someone says, yeah, because when you've dieted for decades, you're exhausted. Fast results help with motivation. Not true. Not true. Fast results don't help with motivation. They trap you. It's a trap. It is a trap. And as long as you stay stuck in that trap and you just need fast results to keep yourself motivated, you'll be on that cycle forever. I know it. And I know it. Sorry to tell you. Done over 5,000 private weight loss sessions, done this for 20 years. I have not seen an exception. I don't know what fast weight loss method you could use. So you're in a trap. I've been trying. What have you been trying? Dieting for decades. Maybe it's time to step off the diet though. Vicky, I don't mean to be aggressive. I feel I'm sounding aggressive. It's not you. It's this idea. And it bums me out because I do care for people. I think of this as life and death. And I see so many people trapped in the diet mindset. You know? Yeah, because you need the new diet that's going to be the fastest results. You know, it's like, I always say, it's like if I want to learn the piano, but the only way I'm going to learn the piano is like books and programs are like, learn the piano in 7 days, master the piano in 24 hours, right? We'll be a piano master in the next week. Bullshit. We all know it's bullshit, right? It's a get rich quick scheme. It don't work. It hasn't worked for you. I've dieted for decades. It's right there in the comment you made. Yeah. Yet you can't, and I don't blame, this is why part I don't blame you. You can't even separate in your mind weight loss from dieting, right? Weight loss is dieting in most people's minds because we've been literally millions of ads in our lives. It's the only way we can think about it. And so we need fast results. So I get on these lives and people say, what do you think about water fasting? I think it's stupid. But what do you think about cutting my calories down to 800 calories till I lose the weight and then I'll maintain it? How? By eating 800 calories forever? Do you know what I mean? It's like you're so trapped in thinking short term. They say, well, shit, we can do anything for short term, right? I could eat, what's the most ridiculous diet I've seen? HCG diet, I would say. Yeah, I'm at a 24-hour fast now. Hey, it's fine if you got other reasons, but if you're doing a 24-hour fast to lose weight, like if you're intermittent fasting and you've gotten kind of that whole thing figured out, okay, about 8,000 calories a day. Hey, if it works for you, I say go for it. You know what I mean? Like, again, my number one rule above all else is there's no right or wrong. There's only what works for you. Okay. So let me just say that once again. What I'm speaking to is really patterns I see, and this idea that people are really more fixated on fast results than they are long-term results. And you see it because when I start asking questions, it very quickly comes to the surface because they'll say, they'll be doing whatever. They're fasting. What's the big ones now? Fasting, keto, right, are really the two big ones that are non-medical, right? Those are the two hot diets right now, I hear people say. And I agree with both of them to certain degrees. I think they're tactics. I don't think that they're holistic strategies that I think is very important. I think you need to have a mindset component. I think there needs to be a lifestyle component. I think you need to have a complete understanding of how you're going to eat long-term, so keto, right? So people say, well, I'm going to cut the carbs out. And it's like, okay, well, how long you do that for? And then it's really hard. It's hard. I'm struggling with it. Okay, well, how long you plan on doing this for? I'm going to lose the weight. I just want to get the weight off me. Then what? I'll figure it out then. I hear that's what I always hear. I'll figure it out then. I'll go to maintenance. Well, what's maintenance? What's maintenance? If you're doing something to get to a point, what do you do from that point forward? And I know, I like, you know what I mean? And I ask this question to people and they just like, you can see the wheels of their mind just come to a screeching halt. They're like, I'm just going to go to maintenance. Well, what's that mean? What's maintenance mean? If you're doing 500, 800 calories a day, if you're water fasting, if you're doing this crazy stuff to lose the weight, and then you say, well, the weight will come off. I don't know. Then I'll be thin. Well, for what, a day? And then the weight comes on? Because talk to people that have, and I know all of you have experienced this, I bet, but that experience of losing the weight and then putting it back on, you can only do that so many times before you're just destroyed and completely discouraged to the core. And it all stems from this thinking of just short-term results, you know? So it's like, I won't do anything. And I've done it. I've done fasting. I've done raw foodism. You know, I've done all this stuff. And what I learned from it is that short-term results is not what I'm looking for. You know, the short-term results keep me stuck in the short term. I want long-term forever results. And so that's what I start orienting myself to. And that's been the biggest game changer because it slows the process down. It lets me be more strategic, more sustainable, and makes it more fun. Yes, fun, because I'm focused on the behaviors now. I'm not so focused on how quickly I'm losing weight. I'm not measuring my success solely by what the scale says. I'm using that as part of my measurement of what's working and what's not. But I'm more primarily looking at, is this shift that I made in my behavior, in my eating, in my mindset, my lifestyle, am I able to do it comfortably, relatively? Everything when you first do, it's a little more challenging, then you habituate to it. But I don't want to, I've done fasts, I've done raw foodism. It was so hard to do those things. I was obsessed with food. It didn't feel mentally healthy. What's up, Salmonator? And so, you know, I got to experience it myself before I even started working with people. It was like I was raw food and I felt physically, I was like, I feel light. I feel good. I feel healthy. I bought into the whole thing. I believed it. However, mentally, emotionally, I was obsessed with food 24 hours a day. That's all I thought about, you know, and it didn't feel healthy. You know, I would sit there fantasizing about food. I'd be asking, I remember the day I really think I realized it was when I was driving to work and I was like, what am I going to do if I get a promotion? Like, how am I going to celebrate? You know what I mean? I was literally obsessed with food. And so I started to realize, listen, if I'm going to master my weight, I've got to come up with strategies that feel good, that work for me, that I'm going to be able to maintain. And that was really the beginning, I think, of the mastery part of my weight. And that's what I try to share with you, you know, because if you're feeling discouraged, if you're feeling like, well, I just need to get fast results to get some motivation, you know, the other side of the fast results is how hard you have to work to get them, you know, because I just did a call, right? So, you know, this is something I'm really excited to be able to do is I recorded a coaching session with someone. And so any of you, if you want to do a coaching session, let me put it out, record it and put it out on the internets. Shoot me an email, you know, free coaching session, you know, probably one of the most profound thing you ever did with your weight, to be honest. But anyways, so she intermittent fasting, keto for the last 6 weeks. January 1st, it started. And here she is 6 weeks later, has lost almost 20 pounds, right? So she should be over the moon, right? Right? That's what we're all looking for. I mean, that's pretty good. 20 pounds in 6 weeks. Pretty good, right? So if you lost 20 pounds in 6 weeks doing keto and intermittent fasting, you'd be over the moon, right? You'd be just on top of the world. It's like everything's sweet, right? Is that how you'd be feeling? Do you think? Right? It's fast results. Motivated, excited now? She wasn't. What's she feeling? Take a guess, folks. Nervous as hell. It's getting harder and harder every day. You know what I mean? It's getting harder. I don't know how long I'll be able to do this for. Well, what about the 20 pounds though? How you feel about that? Fine, but I don't know if I can keep this up. I went out, got a little wobbly this weekend. I don't know if I can get back on track. I don't know if I'm gonna keep this up. So I'm just trying to save you that whole thing. You know, now we talked about it in ways to get there, but if you're just thinking short term, you know, is this not the process that you've been experiencing? Do you know what I mean? And again, I don't blame you for this because in the state of hypnosis, which all of us are in, we're all subconscious creatures. So we're not these conscious creatures that are always making logical decisions. We're subconscious creatures that are basically on autopilot doing irrational things that have been programmed into us without our awareness. Okay. But when it comes to weight loss, especially so. And so these things that we're living, these autopilots that we're on from our subconscious programming installed there by diets, we just don't see them. We're like in a trance. We just don't recognize it. So I like to get out here and kind of point it out to you so you can fix it. Because a lot of times you don't realize, why am I struggling? I don't know what's going on. I want to lose weight, but I'm not doing it. What's up? You know what I mean? You have this constant internal dialogue, none of it moving you forward in any practical, helpful way. So I try to get here and point out some of the big things, the big ones. Yeah, I need to lose weight fast if I'm going to feel any motivation. You know, and I'm picking on you, Vicky, because I appreciate you saying that. I say it because it's very, what you're saying is very common. You know what I mean? With people that are struggling with weight, they're using dieting in order to achieve the results they want. You know, not unusual to say those things. So I say to you, how do you avoid that? You know, you avoid it by approaching this in a different way to shift up your mindset. And if you're going to start approaching it that way and shift up your mindset, again, my program is 3 pillars of weight mastery. I say pillars, but I really describe them as like a pyramid. The bottom floor, the foundational level, is your mindset. I think without the right mindset, none of this going to matter. You know, the next step's lifestyle, right? Getting your lifestyle in place properly. That helps with everything else. And then the final level is your eating. You know, having eating strategies that are sustainable and help you live at your goal weight. You know, that's the plan. But the mindset's the most important piece of it because it impacts everything else above it. Again, it's like a house, you know, you want to build this house on a solid foundation. And most people's foundation for their weight loss is sand. It's quicksand, you know, because they're in that diet mindset. I just need to get quick results. But the flip side of that, you got to look at the other side of that. Getting quick results is usually something unsustainable or really difficult, you know? Yeah, the length of time I've been in this process has taken my self-belief away from me. Now, Vicky, listen, you're the reason why I do this, okay? And I mean this genuinely, because for me, and if you don't know my story, my father died of a heart attack when he was 54. I was 9 years. Oh, good. Thank you, Vicky. That's the last thing in the world I want to do. I think you know that. So my father died of a heart attack at 54. I was 9 years old, and it was like, I knew then, right? He was technically obese, unhealthy lifestyle, greatest guy on the planet. The worst thing that ever happened to me. And so for me, this process of mastering your weight is not primarily a looking better one. It's a living longer one. You know what I mean? So it's like, I take it like that. That's how I think about it. It's really serious. When I talk about weight, I'm not talking about, oh, you got to be a certain way so you look a certain way. No, I want you to live longer. And the next thing is I want you to have a great quality of life, because I see so many people struggling with the weight. So even if the weight's not a health factor, it's a mental health factor, right? There's Vicky, you've been struggling with this for decades. And what happens is it zaps you to the core. It takes away your self-belief that you can change, that you can do this. Now, I know you can do it. I know for a fact you can do it. I know something that you don't know, though. I know because you think you're doing everything possible to lose weight. None of it's working. So there's something wrong with you. And I know that's 100% not true. I know what's wrong is that you're following a horseshit strategy to lose weight, which is a diet, because a diet's temporary. And you keep thinking about your weight loss in temporary time frames. You subconsciously code it as a temporary thing. I'm going to diet until I lose the weight. That's what everyone thinks. And so it puts you on this path of unsustainability. So I'll just start off, just to give you an example of what I mean. You're so obsessed with weight loss, and I know you are, and I know you've been obsessed with it for decades. I just want to lose the weight. I just want to lose the weight. I just want to lose this weight. You keep saying it like a mantra, right? But the truth is you don't just want to lose the weight. That's a shitty goal, right? You want to lose the weight, get back to your goal weight, and live the rest of your life at your goal weight on near autopilot, a much better goal. And you need to articulate it so clearly, because your subconscious mind is like a computer. You need to be like, if you're coding a computer, you can't just be like, kind of lackadaisical with the code. You can't just kind of like, oh, this is kind of what I mean, computer. No, you can be extremely specific. Same thing with your subconscious mind. So you're sitting here running around, I want to lose weight. So what happens when you have a mantra of, I just want to lose weight? Typically, people lose weight, and then what do? I just want to lose weight. I just want to lose weight. I lost the weight. Okay, I want to lose the weight. I just want to lose the weight. I know that sounds crazy, but I promise you, I've seen it. I did another coaching call right after Shay. If you have not watched these, go to my YouTube. I think they're fascinating. Of course, I'm obsessed with this stuff, but if you're struggling with your weight, you might want to watch these, because you're going to see me come at it from a different angle. Most people approach their weight loss in a very superficial way, and you don't realize you're doing it. I understand that, but it's like when you start to understand the deeper layers that are leading to the superficial layers, it gives you so much more stuff to work with. So I know, Vicky, I know you're a smart person, and I know you think about this all the time, and you haven't gotten the results you want, so you think there's something wrong with you. Now, what I know is that you're a smart person. You can change your weight, but you've got to change your programming. You need to approach this differently. It's that simple. I mean, it's that simple, but it's not that easy. So I would never lie to you. And so I think the process I use is simple, but not easy. It takes work. It takes discipline for sure. However, when you think about all the work and effort and thought and, energy you put into thinking about your weight now, you're already doing it, but you're getting horseshit results. And you've been doing it for decades. That's the craziest part of the diet mindset is you've been at this for 20, 30 years and you don't know anything more about how to lose weight than you did before you started your first diet, because the diets are all missing the key factors of weight mastery, how to deal with your mindset and how to look at it holistically, how to set up a lifestyle that actually supports your weight mastery, And so it becomes it's like a carnival game, and I always put the one thing out there. Oh, just stop eating carbs. Hey, just stop eating for 12 hours a day, 24 hours a day. Just stop. Do it. Just do that. And you lose all the weight you want, And then they make it sound so easy. The hard part's not knowing what to do. The hard part's getting yourself to do it. That's the mindset piece. It's the lifestyle piece, setting yourself up for success. No one's doing that, So it's not that you can't do it. It's that you're just following a horseshit strategy. Can't put any more clear than that. So you want a new strategy? You want a new approach? I give it to you. I do these lives, these videos just for free because I just want to help you. I have the Robin Hood business model. Yes, I do offer coaching. I do have a program. People pay for it. I'm able to support myself with that. And I just give everything away for free. Okay. So if you want a new approach, if you're serious about losing weight, right? And you're ready, it's I don't know what to do. I feel like no self-belief. Yeah, I know you don't. Go look at my bio, look at my description here. Go click that link and go get the hypnosis session. Custom hypnosis session, free. I give it to you. And as soon as you do that, it takes me a few minutes to send it to you. I got a training there, 3 steps to master your weight. It's about a half hour or so, completely free. Go get it. It'll give you I'll lay out a completely different roadmap you can follow to master your weight. All free. And then every day I email you positive, uplifting, coaching, training stuff to help you master your weight, because you need to have the most important part of weight loss is reinforcement. It's not some friggin' diet. Oh, here's the plan. Here's the plan from someone who's never met you, doesn't know you. Here you go. Here you go, other human being. Why don't you just eat this way? Don't know anything about you, but here, eat this way. It's crazy. But that's how desperate people get. I understand that. Okay. But you've got to create your own plan. You've got to take the time to figure out how to eat, how to live, and how to think that's customized around you. You're a unique human being with a unique genetics, lifestyle, all the rest of it. Take the time, stop chasing shortcuts, and take a little bit of time and come up with your own strategy, right? So my program is a 60-page workbook. There's weight mastery blueprints. It's a mindset blueprint, a lifestyle blueprint, and an eating blueprint, right? What do I mean by it when I say mindset blueprint, right? Because you're probably saying, oh, I want to lose weight. Oh, I got to change my mindset. Yeah, okay, that means nothing. It's so vague to me. It means nothing. So what do I mean when I say mindset? I'm talking about motivation. Do you know how to motivate yourself? Like scientifically, do you know how to actually get yourself fired up and motivated? You don't. Your motivation's spontaneous, comes and goes. You don't know why, right? The next step, once you're really ready to work, we do the self-image. Do you know you have an identity, a self-image inside of you that's controlling your weight, right? If you've been struggling with your weight for 3 decades, you think of yourself as an overweight person who struggles with weight. And so you create that reality. And this isn't just law of attraction stuff, which I believe some of that. I don't think it's enough depth, to be honest, but I believe in the general idea. But I like to give a lot more scientific reasons why that is true. Okay. But a lot of it's your self-image. How do you think of yourself? If you've been struggling with weight for 30 years, you're not just tomorrow going to start a diet and just live up to it. And you'll see it if you watch the coaching session I'm talking about. You'll see it, because one of the people has just lost 20 pounds. They're right in the middle of, they're right 6 weeks. They've lost 20 pounds, right? And you see it. You can see their new reality of 20 pounds lighter and that way of living banging against their old way of thinking of themselves. And then the other person had lost 25 pounds 2 years ago and then put it back on. What happened? I didn't feel like myself. Yeah, no shit, because that's what everyone tells me. If losing weight was so great, and it is great in one way, but if it was so amazing, how come people lose weight and then put it right back on? What's going on? Do you even have any understanding of why? I do. I know it's because their self-image didn't change, and they still think of themselves as an overweight person, and they're still living that way, even if their body slims down. Okay. The next step is habits. Do you understand the neuroscience of habits? How are you serious about losing weight if you don't even understand your habits on a neuroscientific level? Then what are you doing? I know what you're doing. You're trying to use willpower to force yourself to eat better. You're fighting against yourself. Your weight loss process is basically, in a nutshell, you fighting against yourself. It's you consciously, which is your willpower, consciously trying to force yourself to act in a new way. It completely goes against everything that you are as a human being. That's why it's not working. So habits, right? Understand them. It becomes a lot easier, not easy, but easier. You can be strategic. Holy shit. Imagine being strategic with your weight loss. Imagine being strategic with your weight mastery. You don't ever even use those words, right? Because you're tactics. I just got to stop eating carbs. That's it. That's the whole plan. I'm going to stop eating carbs. Okay. Well, what about your mindset? What about your moods? What about when you get pissed off? What about when you get sad? What about when you're at a birthday party? Right? What do you do at night when you've been eating cookies every night for the last 20 years? Now just going to be you're going to be carb free. Okay, great. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, give me one tactic. That's what every diet is. One tactic. I'm going to eat Mediterranean food. Okay. I'm going to eat like South Beach people. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, come on. You've got to, you're a human being. You're a complex creature. This idea that I'm just going to tell you, hey, just stop eating carbs. Oh, okay. Right. You want to just follow a diet made for epileptics. You're so desperate. Do that. Now, again, I like some of the keto stuff, but I think everything goes too far, and there's no holistic understanding it. Anyways, so what I say, motivation, self-image, habits. And then there's the next part of mindset, emotions. Do you know how to feel the emotions you want? Deal with the emotions you don't want to feel without food? Probably not. Thinking is the next category. Do you know how to think like a thin person? Right? Do you know transformational grammar? Do you know solution-oriented mindsets? Do you know fixed and growth mindsets? Probably not. And if you don't, what I'm saying is you don't understand your mind. And if you don't understand your mind, how are you going to change your behaviors? Like, how are you going to change if you don't even know what you're working with? Because I'm telling you, the way you're approaching your weight loss is ass backwards. You think you're consciously, I'll just give you a quick mindset lesson. You have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. The subconscious part of your mind is controlling your weight. You're not conscious. You're not a conscious creature primarily. Right? If you were, you would be like a robot. And if you were a robot, you could just type in what you're going to eat all day and you just ate it. Would you have a problem losing weight? No. The problem is not that you don't know what to eat. The problem is you can't get yourself to eat it consistently. And it's because you don't understand what you're working with. You can start the day saying, I want to eat really well today. And then all of a sudden lunch comes when you usually get a cookie and you feel that old pattern kicking in, right? But you got no idea of what's going on under here. So you just use your willpower to fight against that craving. You say, why am I sabotaging myself? You're not sabotaging yourself. That's the program you've been running for 10 years. And you just expect it, it just disappears because you decide you want to lose weight? You think it's that easy? It's never been that easy for you, but you think now that you're on a diet, I'm just going to control all my eating. Makes no sense. And the final piece of the mindset thing is maintenance. Never mind maintenance when you get to your goal weight. You need to learn how to maintain now. You got to maintain from day 1 to day 2. How about that? You need to maintain from week 1 to week 2. Do you know what I mean? Like this idea that you're just going to, you just throw, okay, get my goal weight, then I'm going to maintain. Could you make anything that's difficult sound any easier? I always joke. It's like saying say I don't play the piano. I'm like, piano, that's easy. All you got to do, hit the keys at the right time in the right order. Simple. And that's kind of how people approach their weight loss. Just tell me what to eat. Just give me the meal plan. Yeah. Okay. That ain't going to work. You know what I mean? Every diet works if you followed it. The problem is you can't follow any of them because you don't know how to change. You don't know how to influence your behaviors. You don't know how to influence your thinking. You don't know how to influence your feelings. And that's what's driving your eating. Do you not realize that? You know what I'm saying? It makes me nuts. I'm getting crazy. I'm worked up. I want to answer your questions though. Okay. How can I lose weight? Let me see this. I want to see that. Yeah. All right. How can I lose weight if I'm fasting? How can I lose weight if I am fasting? It is Lent. All food are oily. I don't know what that means. But if anyone's trying to lose weight with fasting, you might as well just leave right now because I'm just going to, it's goofy to use fasting, intermittent fasting. Okay. Fasting, like to try and not eat, water fasting. I'm just telling you where you want to go. Absolutely. I'm still failing now. Yep. What do you think of keto diet? I think the keto diet, it's fine again, this idea, we become so dogmatic with the diets. You know what I mean? I agree with keto in the sense that in this society, the number one source of calories for Americans is baked goods. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, flour, refined carbs, not so good. You know what I mean? You got to cut those back. What I don't like, it depends what you're talking about with keto. Are we going all the way to, you want to get into ketosis? I don't understand that. That seems wild to me. You know what I mean? I can't imagine living that way. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't do that. But me personally, I am keto-ish in the sense, well, I don't eat meat, so I'm a keto, but I don't eat a lot of refined carbs. I eat them on the weekends. I'm strategic with it, but I think it's like with these diets, we just, I'm just gonna do it this way, and it's like, I think what you want to do, again, this is my Bruce Lee is really one of the people I model a lot of stuff after. And he created his own martial art. He was a real martial artist, by the way, and a philosophy major. So his philosophy is he would study everything, say boxing, fencing, anything. He'd take what works, discard the rest. And along the way, he creates his own system, customized system, you see? So I like to borrow from things, but I'm always bouncing off of me, my lifestyle, my preferences. So the plan I follow now is 100% customized to me. Now, guess what? That makes it a lot easier to follow. Imagine that. Did it take longer to do it? Yeah, sure. Am I glad I took that time? Hell yeah. I've been the same weight for 30 years. I dropped 50 pounds. And I never have to worry about my weight. I never worry about my weight. I don't count calories. I don't diet. I haven't given up any foods. I'm strategic, but it works for me. It fits like a glove. No one even thinks about that. How do you get the mindset? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Again, I mean, listen, I've been studying this for 30 years. I know business, like 35 grand on certifications, programs, all the rest of it. I read 50 books a year. So it's like, I'm obsessed with it. I mean, that's a slow way. The fast way is getting my program, Do you think is good to do keto for a month or two? I don't think anything's good to do for a month or two. It's not a diet. It's life-changing. Yes, Ann, I agree. No, ask yourself, will you be living off of that for the rest of your life? Yeah, I think that's a good question. Hey, everyone. Hey, Sweet Quest. And no, it's a short-term way to lose weight and get motivated. No. Oh, you know what? You can, y'all obviously know you can do what you want, but this idea of like short-term motivation, how does that work? You know what I mean? Like how do you think you're going to do something unsustainable just so you can lose some weight? And then what are you going to be motivated for? Like, what are you going to do? Let's just go all the way to the water fast. Let's just say, 'cause that's probably the fastest way to lose weight, right? You just stop eating and you just drink water for 4 days, let's say 5 days. Let's go 5 days, right? Water fast for 5 days so you can lose the weight, so you can get motivated. Okay. What kind of motivation are you going to get? Let's just say 5 days. Let's say you lose 10 pounds in 5 days, right? You get to the end of that 5 days. You haven't eaten in 5 days. Are you motivated? What's your motivation level at the end of that 5 days? What is it? Are you fired up that you lost 10 pounds, or are you weak and tired and know that you're not going to maintain that because tomorrow you got to eat? And then what happens on day 6 when you do start eating? And now you put 5 pounds on the first day. And then by the end of the week, you've put 12 pounds on. Where's your motivation now? You've got to stop thinking short term, or you're always going to be caught in this little trap. And that's the trap of the diets. The diets don't want you to lose weight. Listen, everyone, if you know me, you know what I'm about to say. You got to understand all the big diets you're learning from and using are all put out there by the food companies, right? Weight Watchers was owned by Heinz. Jenny Craig was owned by Nestle. Slim Fast was owned by the same company that owns Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Atkins Food Products, the same company owned by Cinnabon and Auntie Pretzels. These companies don't want you to lose weight. They want you to restrict your calories in goofy ways for a little while because they know that leads to eating more calories ultimately. Okay. So the short-term thing, and I don't think that helps your motivation. Doing something unsustainable to lose some weight, that's going to help your motivation. How? Because in the back of your mind, you're not going to be able to sustain it. So in the back of your mind, you have this fear. Oh shit, what's going to happen when I can't do this? I'm going to put the weight back on. That's what I think. That's what I've seen from people. For me, a scale is very important. With keto, I can see fast results and stay on track. Great. How long you been on keto and how long you've been getting results for? That's what I always like to ask. I always see that because that's the trick of the diet, right? Oh my God, I lost 10 pounds this week. I lost 10 pounds on keto. It's amazing. Can I get your number? Can I give you a call in 2 months, please? Can you shoot me a message in 3 months and let me know where you're at? That's always what I think. What do you guys think? At this point, keto's been around for a long time. Your experience, other people that have done keto, where are they at a year later? Where are they at? Where are you at with it? I don't want to hear about the 2 weeks. Oh my God, keto is amazing. I lost 10 pounds in 2 weeks. It's absolutely incredible. But wait, so what happened though after that? I couldn't stick with it. I put the weight back on, but it was incredible. It was 10 pounds in 2 weeks. Best diet I've ever done. I mean, is that not, does that sound crazy? That sounds like a lot what I'm hearing. You say strategic a lot, but what kind of strategy specifically? I mean, every kind of strategy, mindset strategy, lifestyle strategies, eating strategies. What do I mean? Mindset strategies. How are you approaching this? Again, how do you think about yourself? Do you think about yourself as someone who's a food addict who's going to try and lose weight? Or do you think about yourself as a person who's going to develop into a person who thinks about themselves and their weight in a healthy way? Yeah. So Susan, I was on keto, dropped 30 pounds, and I gained it back. Let's be honest, folks. I do say strategies a lot. I guess what I mean by strategies is to think about things in a holistic way. So, for example, lifestyle strategies. So when I say lifestyle, right, that's a buzzword, but what do they mean? I'll tell you what I mean. It's 8 habits. It's sleeping, hydration, relaxation, breathing, nourishment, movement, meditation, gratitude. And it's basically having strategies for those. So if you've never meditated before, the strategy I use is the 1 minute meditation I teach people. 1 minute. Let's make it simple. Let's make it really easy in the beginning so you can actually get some consistency with it. Right. So everything's strategic in my mind. Long term, how can I make it as easy as possible? How can I integrate it in my life? That's what I mean by strategy. Long term. Oh boy, I want to get that. What happens here? I get these questions and I scroll down and then it shows me everyone, but I'm going to start getting straight to the questions. If you have them, ask them. Do you want to lose weight for a short term or long term? Absolutely. Long term, but in the case, I need to see the results to stay motivated. Yeah. I would suggest you change that. I mean, that's, I understand what you're saying. I'm not picking on you in any way, but I think it's that way. So to me, it's like, if I could change my behaviors in a comfortable way, that's my motivation. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I'll tell you, I did this literally. My worst habit was that I would eat at night. I snack every night. I would eat 8, 5, 6, 700, 1,000 calories every night after dinner. And so I was like, I want to change my weight. Where do I want to start? Let's pick my worst habit. Okay, that's eating at night. So let me go to work on that. Right. So I worked on that and I kept trying different things. How can I make it easier? How can I do this? And I would get through a night and I was like, oh my God, I didn't eat today. How'd I do it? What was going on? And I felt really good about it. All right. And then the next night I ate. So what happened there? I look back and I figured out optimizing, tweaking, changing, working out. How can I make this easier? And so my focus, my motivation came from how I was able to change my behavior in a way that felt sustainable, not from the scale. Because in my mind, I knew if I can change this habit, I know the scale is going to change. If you keep basing your motivation on the scale, it's almost guaranteed failure, like long-term, not short-term, Now the scale is an important piece. I think the scale is a key tool, but I think if the only thing you're motivating yourself from is looking at that scale and seeing the number go down, I think you're always going to have a hard time. Rickman. There he is, Ricky. What is 76? You are like born in 76. All this makes perfect sense. Thank you. May reach out for a one-on-one. Great. I don't do one-on-ones right now. I don't have any space open, but if you're interested at all, my programs that work with me, go to my bio and start by getting that free hypnosis session. Listen to that, please. Anyone experience hypnosis. It's the friggin' magic tool. It makes me nuts as a hypnotist because hypnosis, the way it's out there, obviously stage hypnosis is just a show. It's a show. Okay. Actual hypnosis of working people is okay, but it's self-hypnosis where the magic's happening. When you understand how your mind works, primarily your subconscious mind, which is to control everything. When you understand how to influence your subconscious mind, which is what hypnosis is, what self-hypnosis is, it's like it changes everything. Like you increase your ability to take control of your behaviors, your thinking, and how you feel in a way that you do not have now. So it's the ultimate tool, in my opinion. So go get that hypnosis session, experience it, and then go watch the training I give you. It's free. And then I email you all the time. So I'm trying to do everything I can for you all. Mindset, eat natural food and exercise, change your mindset. Your body will get used to it. Yep. What up, Jim? How are you? What's up, Mario? Hey, Mario. Hey, the brother. All right. We got the whole family in there. I work out. I have 10 pounds to lose and I'm desperate. Oh, 10 pounds. All right. I'd say first thing I'd suggest too, by the way, is stop being desperate. Okay. Being desperate. This is a nervous system thing, everyone. So listen to this. It affects everyone. We have two nervous systems, sympathetic nervous system, fight, flight, or freeze, right? And our parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest one. So fight, flight, or freeze is activated in our modern culture way too much. And so we know it's freezing, right? Fight, something like that. The blood goes from our brain down to our muscles. Okay. But listen, it goes away from our brain. So when you're desperate, when you're fight, flight, or freeze mode, you're not thinking clearly. You're very reactionary, very emotional, right? You react, right? Fight or flight. And so the first thing I suggest is relax, calm down. Not only because it's going to help you physically drop the 10 pounds, but more importantly, it's going to help you mentally tap into your ability, your creativity, your clear thinking, your strategic thinking, So yeah. Ann says, why desperate, right? Got to make it a lifestyle, right? No way I'll be in the hospital. Not sure what that meant. Some comments were filtered. I always want to know what the filtered comments were. I don't know what those were. I learned that yesterday from you about the companies. Yeah, right. It's crazy. What do you suggest for weight loss? How do you start and what do you eat? Yeah, I mean, I suggest eating natural foods, is always good. Less processed foods. I guess if I had to start with anything, I'll keep it really simple. I'd start by reducing sugar and flour. Those are my two focuses. Now, notice the words I said, please. Reducing. Okay. You don't have to cut them out completely. I know you want to cut them out completely because you're obsessed with fast results, but I don't know. I always say, like, you want to lose weight as fast as possible or as long as possible. No, you can't do both. So that's the first thing. I'd start with flour and sugar. I'd focus on those and I'd work to cut those down. Okay. And then what I'd focus on to add in is fiber. I would add more fiber into my diet. Not so you can poop better, but either. That's a nice side effect. But because fiber, the three big things about fiber. Okay. First things, when you're consuming foods that have a lot of fiber in them, what has fiber in it? Fruits and vegetables, greens, beans, natural foods. Okay. And so the first thing is the calories are binded to the fiber. And so it's a slower absorption of calories. It's a slower increase of glucose levels. That's better. Second thing is that the calories are binded to the fiber. So some of those calories just pass right through you without ever even being absorbed. Great. The third thing is that the fiber is not absorbed into your body. It just stays in your intestines and it makes you feel full. And that's helpful too. So fiber is the number one ingredient stripped from modern foods because it doesn't process well. And it's the number one thing we used to eat a lot more of, right? So that's the magic. You want, again, to cut down, focus on sugar, flour, bring that down, and increase fiber, and you'll be well on your way, most likely, depending where you're at. Eat natural food, no processed food. Yeah, you go, Ann, Good job, Ann. Janet, Houston, Texas, hi. I added the 76 because Rick Man was taken. Why don't you put the year you were born or something, though? You've helped me in getting me to change small behaviors like exercising 3 times a week. Now, that's what I want to hear. Good for you. That's what I'm talking about. Little, small, sustainable changes. I was just thinking as I was eating my salad, I was like, small, sustainable strategies. That's the triple S plan for long-term success, Now, again, I know the hard part of that is that, again, we're so impatient, right? But if you can chill with with the rushing and slow down and start planning forever, time moves quick. If you start, again, this makes me, I don't know. I say it every day, I know it's so hard because you're literally in a trance and I can say this to you and you're hearing it. You're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then you go right back into it. So what a trance feels like, it's like, you ever seen an optical illusion? There's one I always think of it. If you haven't Google it in a minute. I wish I could show my screen. I got to start doing that. But it's like a chessboard or a checkerboard, right? With the squares, and it's got like a ball in it. It's like one of the squares looks like gray, and it looks like it's a different color than the other squares. But then like you cover up the ball or whatever, and then it looks like this. It's the same color, right? But because that ball is a different color, it makes you think that square is different. So you can see that optical illusion. You look at it, right? And then you show it. And you're like, oh, it is the same. It is great. It's the same as the other one. And then you come to that ball. You're like, oh, it looks like a different color again. That's what a hypnotic trance feels like. It's like you get these moments. And I always say, as a hypnotist, I thought I was going to hypnotize people to change. Really, what it is, I'm waking them up. It's like I'm snapping you out of the friggin' diet trance you're in. And like you listen to me live or you watch some of my videos, you listen to stuff. It's like you snap out of it for a second, but then you go back into it. So that's why my program, it's like, it's constant reinforcement of letting you think this way. It's an immersion program, to kind of create and sustain a different mindset, but great job. G813. I've had therapy with 4 different hypnotherapists. I studied it for a year, still struggling. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, I'll be completely honest. I've had to create my own way with this. I've been at this for 30 years personally. I'm certified NLP trainer, master hypnotist, yoga instructor, strategic coach. I read 50 books a year. I've done over 5,000 private weight loss sessions. I created Program Yourself Thin. I've certified people. I'm obsessed with this, and there really wasn't one person to learn from. I don't even know hypnotists, to be honest. I don't like to do this because my colleagues in one sense, but to be honest, most hypnotists, they're just reading scripts. They have no idea what they're doing part-time. You know what I mean? I think if you're going to be a really good hypnotist, I think you have to pick one thing to focus on, because hypnosis is like a tool, right? It's like you're not going to hire someone who's like a hammerer, right? You know what I mean? Even a carpenter. You're not going to even just hire a carpenter. You want to find like a finished carpenter, or, a building carpenter or whatever. And so I think it's important that, 4 different hypnotherapists. I just hate to say that because I wish they knew better, but they just don't, unfortunately. I think a lot of hypnotists don't even know what the hell they're doing with hypnosis. I just had to kind of create this over and over. I just keep iterating, my program, and keep making it better and better and better based on, I'm always learning, always growing. And this information is not out there. I'm not sitting here acting like I'm, like the holy grail of weight loss, but I kind of am in the sense that I fill up a very unique void within the weight loss world. And I think you'll recognize at least this void is that everyone's telling you what to do, right? Everything. Oh, here's the meal plan. Here's the nutrition plan. Here's the workout, right? But then it's like, well, how do you get yourself to do it? Anyone? Can someone help me with that? No, no one's doing that. Who's helping you do it? Well, you're talking to a therapist. If you're not just to a therapist, we're going to my past. You talk to a coach, it's like, well, they don't really have the details necessarily to get the mindset part. I don't know. You know what I mean? I had to do this myself. So I hear you, Vicky. I appreciate your effort. Don't quit. Keep refining, keep iterating, keep making distinctions about what worked, what didn't work, and keep improving and optimizing, and then, so I would please watch the training I put up because if you have that sort of background and understanding, you'll see what I'm saying. It'll help you make more distinctions at the very least. I promise you. And cooking all meals. Hey, all right. Nice. That's a huge deal. Huge deal. Oh, got you. Rick, man. I like that. That's funny. Yeah. All right, everyone. So if you have any questions, ask me. I got a few minutes. I get going. I got a call coming up. So my program, right? Imagine this. Let me just share my program with what's out there. It's intuitive eating versus dieting. Intuitive eaters help binge eating, but I have 75 pounds to lose. Yeah, well, intuitive eating, here's the thing with that because people ask me this all the time. What do you think of intuitive eating? Well, I think good luck. I mean, your intuition's probably all messed up. You can't trust your intuitions. If you're overweight and struggling with weight for 30 years, how are you going to trust your intuitions? Do you know what I mean? They're just wrong. So you have to retrain those intuitions to be the right ones. Where are you going to get that from? Like I said, I give you the basics of it. You know what I mean? Like, this is a lot. I'm not sitting here just like, that's why I put all this stuff out for free. I'm trying to help you, but it is a lot. It's a way of life. You know what I mean? It's not, that's what you got to get out of your head. You think of weight loss as a sprint subconsciously. You just code it as a sprint, something you're going to do for a period of time till you lose the weight. You've got to change that. You've got to start thinking that this is a never ending marathon. And I say it that way because I know that bums you out. But it's like, once you accept that and get your head around it, great. Because brushing your freaking teeth is like a never-ending marathon too, right? But it's like, you got to keep it up because this idea that you're going to lose the weight and then what? God, and people that have lost the weight and then put it on 50 times will still say that. It's a trance you get in. So yeah, I mean, intuitive eating, I'm an intuitive eater now, but I've trained myself to be, if I couldn't have been an intuitive eater when I was 19 because my intuition said, let's get McDonald's, let's eat lots of candy, let's cakes, let's drink a lot of alcohol. All my intuitions were steering me in the wrong direction. You know what I mean? So I had to retrain my intuitions. Now my intuitions are great. So yeah, ultimately intuitive eating, but you got to train those intuitions. How do I get access to your program if you are not doing one-on-one work at the moment? Okay, cool. Yeah, let me talk about this. So last fall, last couple of years, I've been doing a lot of private coaching. Last year, I spent the year a lot, in addition to private coaching, as I was focused on training coaches, certified coaches in my Program Yourself Thin method. And so what I do now is, so last fall, I was like, my mission in life is to help as many people as possible live at their goal weight. And I'm like, I can't do it one at a time. It's just not going to work. So I restructured everything. And so I redid my program, and then I said, I'm going to give everything away for free on social medias, you know what I mean? And YouTube and all the rest of it. And my program though is for people that just want to go deeper with it. So how you get to is, again, go sign up for the hypnosis session. You'll be brought to a page. It takes me a few minutes to send it to you. You'll get brought to a page that is a training, 3 steps to master your weight. If you can get through that 30-minute training, then you can learn about how to get involved in my program. So I put a kind of some hoops to jump through, because, you know, if you're not really motivated, you can't watch the training. You wouldn't do well with my program anyways. And I just want to save us all the time, you know. But what is my program? Let me talk about that, because it's not one-on-one. Well, it's one-on-one in a sense, because that's what I was saying. In 15 minutes here, I'm going to go do the call. So my program is kind of like 4 key parts. The first thing you learn right away is what I call the program yourself thin technique. This is a self-hypnotic programming technique. It takes about a minute. You do it at night. And it's really 2 techniques, the redo rehearsal technique. So you kind of review your day, pick the worst habit, kind of replay it in a hypnotic way. And then you project yourself into tomorrow, rehearse the day the way you want it to go. Right? Hugely powerful technique. And this is what gives you control. And that's what you need. You know, I can't just hypnotize you. I can't just tell you what to do. Your weight loss, it's like it's a living, breathing process. It changes. Different situations happen in life, and we have to adjust to them. So you need to have some ability to be able to influence yourself in real time as you move through life. And that's what this program yourself thin technique does, right? So that's the first thing you learn. The next thing is there's a 60-page workbook, and it's really your weight mastery blueprints. There's a mindset blueprint, lifestyle blueprint, eating blueprint, and you fill these out, and it's customized to you. You know what I mean? Like, literally, there's a lot of questions. It's a lot of work. I think in my program, like, it's like a college course condensed into 8 weeks. You know, it's a comprehensive program. And so you get those blueprints filled out. And now you have a plan for yourself. And, you know, listen, you go back, you might tweak those a little bit. You'll go back to them. But if all of a sudden, you know, in my program, someone's like, I'm struggling with motivation, go back to your motivation blueprint, relook at it, and let me know how you feel afterwards. Most of the time people say, I feel a lot better now. I forgot what I wrote, forgot why I was doing this. And sometimes I need to tweak it some more. Now I feel motivated. But the point is, when the things come up that usually stop you, I can diagnose them and say, go there, do that, do this, do that. And so right now you have none of that. You know what I mean? You're just like super stiff. Sometimes you're motivated, sometimes you're not. You don't know what to do. So that the weight mastery blueprint is kind of like the core part of the program. The supplement part of the program is all the hypnosis. So listen to this, right? If you like hypnosis, in my program, it's delivered to you. There's a members area, but it's also delivered to you through your phone. So every single morning for the next 8 weeks, you get you wake up and there's a message right there on your phone from me. It's your day's morning hypnosis session. It's a 5-minute session to start your day. Listen within the first 30 minutes of waking up, and you relax, you calm yourself down, and you get these positive suggestions put into your head, a different one every day for 8 weeks, right? And then at night, you get a sleepnosis session. It's a 10-minute session. So each week you get one of these, and it has a core weight loss mantra in it. And there's 2 kinds. There's one you can listen to like when you go to bed. So there's no count out. So you just listen to it and then go to sleep. And there's another one if you want to listen to it earlier in the evening that it does have a count out. Okay. And so you listen to those. And then there's a hypnosis library, you know, with another like 25, 30 sessions in it. So that's the core of the program. But then maybe the most important part is that every week, every Tuesday and Thursday, we have live coaching calls. You know, we can get on the call and work with me one-on-one, you know, talk to me. And so that's where I'm going to go in 10 minutes here, you know, and that's the big game changer, because no matter what, even with this program, you're going to run into walls. You're going to hit walls, and a lot of them are mental. And so to have me, totally up for jumping through the hoops. All right. Well, let's see, Vicky. All right. I like to hear that. Right. Because again, the way I do things, my core mantra that I really like to put into people is that action is rewarded. And so there's little Easter eggs all throughout my whole, you know, my little world, you know. So when people take action, they're rewarded in different ways. You know? So, but yeah, the coaching calls are so crucial, because most likely the weight loss, you try doing it yourself, you know, or, you know, and Vicky, in your case, you know, you're working with a hypnotist, but they just don't have the experience. What can I say? To be honest, I don't think anyone has the experience I have when it comes to weight mastery. I always say, like, my program is the #1 weight mastery program on the planet. Now it's cheating a little because it's probably the only weight mastery program on the planet, but I literally don't know another person. There's no one else I look to who has done as much like coaching. I've done 5,000 private weight loss sessions. You know what I mean? I've taught literally thousands of trainings on weight mastery using hypnosis, mindset-based stuff. I've just been doing this for 20 years professionally. I don't know. Like, I don't even know. It was like Paul McKenna, right? He's a hypnotist, does weight loss stuff, but he'll do weight loss. He'll do hypnosis for everything. He had a cool special, some cool stuff, but is he working day after day, working on weight loss? Probably not, Um, so I don't know, I just think it's the most unique. Hey, listen, I feel very confident in my abilities, no doubt about it. But again, I don't want you to just trust me. You guys say, go watch the trainings, go listen to the hypnosis session, see how you feel. If you don't feel more motivated than you've ever felt with your weight, then obviously you don't get the program. But if you feel like, holy shit, finally, for the first time, it all makes sense. Because that's what I try to point out to you, is that as much as you think about your weight loss, obsessed with it, you don't know anything about it. You know what I mean? Like, you have no granular understanding of the deeper reasons why you do what you do, why you weigh what you weigh. And as soon as those are illuminated, it's like you're a smart person. Oh shit. Oh, that's why. Oh, my mindset. Oh my God, my self-image. Holy cow. Oh, my habits. Oh, I didn't. It's like you have no ability to diagnose what's wrong and fix it. And this program allows you to do that in a multitude of ways I just described. And it's just amazing to me that you don't have that now, because I know you're a smart person. Everyone in my program is a smart person, like smart ass people in this program, and successful and all the rest of it. And so it's like, how can they be so smart and successful in their careers, in their lives, and all these other areas, and then struggle so hard with weight loss? You know what I mean? It's like, what? How can this be? It's not, it's me, right? So it's like, same freaking brain that 30 years ago was 50 pounds heavier and binge drinking, that's now maintained the exact same weight for 30 years, minus one little blip there 10 years ago, and has a healthy relationship with alcohol. What's the difference? And I always say, like, everyone in my program is like an overthinker. I'm an overthinker. And this is good and bad. If you got good stuff in your head, great, right? But if you got bad stuff, it's like a computer, right? They say garbage in, garbage out. In my head, I'll garbage in and garbage was coming out behaviorally. And so you got to change up the programs you're running. It's not you. It's not the brain you have. Your brain, I always say, like overthinkers, it's like you got this sports car, but no one ever taught you how to drive it. So you just drive into a pole faster, and so you haven't learned how to use your brain, because as an overthinker, you are in your head chattering, talking constantly. But the grist in the mill is horse shit, because it's there from the diets, and it's just complete horse shit. And it's just got you running in circles. That's why you're a smart person. And for 30 years, you're stuck on the same friggin' loop. It makes no sense, and it's literally because you're in a hypnotic trance, and a hypnotic trance is bypassing the critical faculty. It's you being very emotional, and your whole weight loss experience is very emotionally based, so this gives you all the nitty gritty details, I mean, it'll let you diagnose what's wrong and fix it. Again, I'm not saying it's the easiest thing in the world. So I'm not promising out here like a diet. I could do that shit. I could do a diet. I could come up with 50 I come up with 10 diets a year and sell them and make $1 million, because I know the marketing and the psychology that goes into making appealing diets. I'm not going to do that, so I do put hoops up, because it takes a commitment. It takes a certain type of person. If you're a person who can't get through a 30-minute training, there's nothing wrong with you, but you wouldn't be a good fit for my program, so I'm looking out for you. I don't want everyone in this program. It's not for everyone. It's for a certain type of person. And those people know who they are. They jump at the opportunity when they get it. You're kind of obsessed with all this weight loss, but that's how it always is for everyone. Me too. I am obsessed with it. Someone asked me yesterday, I was doing a call, and someone's like, why the weight loss? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, part of me doesn't want to do it. I could be making, listen, I got a business degree in finance and investments, you know what I mean? But I was always passionate about the hypnosis. And it's like, I could be doing executive hypnosis coaching. I'm a strategic coach, Tony Robbins. I mean, I could do, I could be making, I do well. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? It's 25 grand to work with me one-on-one. I'm not even working with people right now. So it's like, I'm not, that part's fine, but it's like, I could be living, but I'm obsessed with the weight. I mean, where's it come from? Well, obviously my dad died of a heart attack at 54. I think that put me on this path. You know what I mean? Because it's like, as much as I didn't want to go down that path, I would start going down that path. And that's what really, like, it was just a miracle. I came across all the stuff I learned that allowed me to change this. But this is, I don't know, it really is a mission for me, because I'm obsessed with it, because I want people to live longer. It's like a drug addiction. No one talks about this way usually, but if my dad died of heroin and I became a heroin, rehab specialist, people are like, oh, no wonder. Well, I feel like my dad died from food. It's crap. I'm not gonna go into that whole story now, but it's like, it's just like, that's what it seemed like. And it's like, he knew he wanted he knew he had a bad heart. He couldn't change his behaviors. And this is what I see all the time. People just, their weight making them miserable. There's just dimming their whole life is how I put it, and it's not how you look. I want to just make that crystal clear. It's think about it, right? If you spend the last 20 years obsessively thinking about, why can't I do this? What's wrong with me? How come I can't stick with something? I just want to lose this weight. Why can't I do it? What's wrong? Why can't am I ever going to find a diet? Am I ever going to do this? Jesus. Oh my God. Did I see myself in that picture? Oh, I hate going clothes shopping. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's never ending. It's 20 years of that. It's dimming your whole life. It bums me out because it's unnecessary. It's absolutely unnecessary, And by the way, there's two sides to weight mastery. There's action and acceptance. At some point, you're going to have to come face to face with accepting who you are. Because I guarantee you, the image in your mind of the body you want is probably beyond what you're ever going to achieve. I'm not saying this. I did the same thing. Do I want to look like Brad Pitt in Fight Club? Yup, I sure do. Am I going to look like that? Nope, sure not. And I'm okay with that now. But before, it was almost like this thing in the background making me feel like shit, like this unattainable goal. So again, there's two sides of this whole thing. Oh yeah, Vicky. Yeah. Got Paul McKenna's books, all for show, not much substance. Agreed. He's got some cool things for sure, but it's not the depth there. I mean, yeah, it's again, go watch my training. I think again, my program's not for everyone. I'll be the first to say that, but Vicky, I'll be very curious. I want you to go through it, and I'll be very interested to see what you think, because you're a, what's the word? You're a sophisticated, connoisseur and consumer of weight loss hypnosis. So let me know if you think it's a little different than what you've seen. I got a feeling you might. Are you Greek? Okay, I am Greek. Thank you. Katsulis, yes. Right. Our story and identity patterns. You're filling the void we all need and want. Oh, thank you. I'm glad. And that's why I do this. Again, this really is it's really a mission. It's been fun this year. I love just giving all this stuff. It really feels good, to give this out. Like I said, it's a wonderful setup. I feel very lucky that kind of happened this way. It is like a drug. I've lost weight and count as underweight now, but I'm still obsessed with consuming. Yeah. All the information out there. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, now I will say, the obsession, I want to make this clear, a thriving life, because I might see where you might be coming from. I'm obsessed with health. I want to make that clear. I'm obsessed with quality of life. So I want to make that crystal clear. All right. It's a slight distinction difference, but it's a very, very important one. I'm absolutely obsessed, because I say like, oh, being obsessed with things isn't good. I'm like, but what if I'm obsessed with my health? I have a loophole. So I don't know if you're doing that thriving life, because again, there's nothing necessarily wrong with being underweight. Listen, there's the BMI chart, I think, is a nice tool to kind of reference. And so they got their kind of normal weight thing, right? And I think if you're statistically a slight percentage over or under, you're probably okay. You know what I mean? You're health-wise, you're probably fine. But it's not a bad tool to reference, just to give yourself perspective on where you're at. I sent my email to receive the download, but never did get it. Oh, that's not good. Okay. You should have got it right away. Susan, shoot me an email. If you go into my bio there's an email button, just click that, or email me at jim@programyourselfthin.com, and I will, I'll get that set for you right away. All right, everyone, I'm going to get out of here. I'll check it out. Yeah. Check it out, folks. Will do. I'm not just intrigued. I'm genuinely interested. Cool. Yeah. I think, like I said, the people that join my program, the way it's all set up, there are some hoops, but by the time, if you want to join the program, it's pretty evident and clear whether this is the right program for you, and the people it's right for, hop in and get started with it. And the people it's not, cool. I'm still here for you. You don't have to pay me anything. I'm going to just keep being here for you. And eventually I'll hit, I'll put some kind of content out there that's going to help you, guaranteed, and that's fine too. It just depends, my programs, it's a niche program, it's for certain people. Let me just put it that way. It's definitely not for everyone. Because, again, I wish there was an easy way. I've thought about this a lot, in terms of diets. I don't know, will I ever get there? Just like put a diet, like a meal plan out. I think there's a lot more that needs to be, I haven't figured that out. I've tried different things, like kind of simple things. And, the simplest thing I have seen that has worked is my Program Yourself Thin method I put out for a little while, teaching that technique. But anyways, at this point here, I enjoy this model where I get to work with people in depth, and really help move them through the process. So this is working really well. All right. But yeah, cool. Cost, I never even talk about the cost because it's cost is, there's no such thing as cost. I hear the bullshit coming, right? But it's like, it all depends on the value you get, right? So it's like, to talk about the cost doesn't mean anything unless you know what the program is, right? And so you wouldn't, it's probably not even for you anyways. Like, just to be honest, it's not for most people, And so I know who it's for by the people that get to the end and actually stick through the training, And if you're that person, then you'll see how much it costs. I'm worried about my mom. She has put on lots of weight and has some health problems lately, but I don't know how to talk about it with her without upsetting her. That is a challenge for real. And I personally have that issue with people in my life sometimes, so it's like, you got to do what you're doing. You support them the best you can. And it's just difficult. I mean, you can't change other people, you can't make other people do things or change, so everyone's got to live their life, and, yeah, I wish I had better. I wish I knew some technique. I'd share it with you. I love your approach, and I think you're going to save my life. Oh, that's a nice way to end this. I really appreciate that. I hope so. So again, remember, folks, it's go get involved. Go get that session. All right. This doesn't have to be the end of it. I'm on live every day, anyways. But and I'll see in my videos and all that. But get and I'm just getting that started too. So just get it on my email list, okay? Because there's just more stuff coming. Like I said, it's all Easter eggs. Actions rewarded. So I set things up strategically. This is kind of the surface level, superficial stuff. It's in depth, right? But it's like there's a lot more stuff too. But people have to take action because I can only meet you with where you're at. So go check it out. Go check it out. So far, the best thing you've told me is the reason why I don't lose weight is because I don't want to. Right? That's a good one. A little slap in the face, a little cold water, but it's nice to think that way because it gives you your power back. Right? Are you here on TikTok every day? Yeah, I'm here all the time. I also got a YouTube channel. Go check that out because I put that interview up with the coaching interview I did. Go watch that. It's really interesting. If you're enjoying this, watch me work with someone in real time. Again, I don't solve everything. I'm not working magic, but what you start to see is the consistent approach. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at. It's a constant approach of looking at the subtle factors, the subconscious factors that are influencing the weight. And as you keep going at those, you start to make profound shifts and changes over time. Okay. So go watch those. It's YouTube, Jim Katsoulis. Go check those out and go sign up for the session. Go listen to it. You didn't say anything yet. About what? All right. Well, I got to get out of here. I'd love to go at you, Uzi, but I got to get out of here. But all right. Catch me tomorrow and we'll go at it. All right. Talk to you later, everyone. Bye.